The following video will discuss filtering, querying, and reporting within the IBM OpenPages solution. We're going to start on the home page or dashboard as our user RCM. If you're starting from a login page, simply log in as RCM, username, and password. To begin, we're going to start with our regulatory change information portlet, and we're going to click down to All Reg Changes. As we look at the All Reg Changes view, we see we have access to all the different regulation changes that have taken place in the system. If I wanted to search or find any information, I can simply utilize my search bar right here. So let's say I was looking for something related to PCI. I can do a quick search through all the regulatory changes, and as you can see, I quickly get access to 2 regulatory changes that have PCI in the name or description. I could also use my filters and column sorts to be able to organize and manage the information as needed. If I clear my search, I can also see on the left-hand side of the screen, I have access to a filter tab. If this is not open, simply click on the funnel or filter on your sidebar, and that will now open up your filter area, which has access to business entity, public filters, and my filters. We'll talk quickly about each of these. The business entity filter allows you to select specific locations or entities for regulatory changes. Now in this case, all of our regulatory changes are stored in the library. So you can simply select library and hit done, and that will filter out all the information for you. To clear any of the filters, simply X out any of that information, and you can see you're now presented with a listing of the regulatory changes. Public filters are defined by administrators and pushed out to end users. You can see here that we have one public filter which has been presented, and you can simply click on that, and that will show you the reg change which meets that filter criteria. Again, to X out and clear your filter, simply exit that. The My Filter section is where the end user can create any filters that they want to or modify existing filters that they've already created. As an example, you can see here that I've got a number of different filters which have been set up and established. So if I wanted to go take a look at regulatory changes or guidance, I can simply click on that number 25, and it automatically filters out all the information to be able to see that data. As we did before, I could also utilize my column headers to sort and organize data as needed. If I wanted to modify any of these filters, I can simply click on the pencil icon to edit. And that will allow me to go in and change any of the conditions which I've set up. I could change the name of this filter. I could add a new condition, for example, adding a new field such as applicability. And maybe I'll select yes, applicable. And I can hit save. As you'll see, that now changed the filter count from 25 down to 3 by adding that one additional factor. I'll go back in and just remove that. So if I wanted to remove any of these filters, I can simply come in, click on the filter, and hit remove. And then save. And now we're brought back to our 25. If you want to delete any filters, you can simply click on the trash can and it will delete the filter. To add a brand new filter, click on Add Filter, give it a name, and then you add your conditions. And again, conditions are simply accessing any of the fields or metadata of content that we have. So for example, if we wanted to take a look at the implementation status, we could look at the operation, in this case, any of the following values, and you can select whatever values you'd like to select. So for example, if I wanted to see all withdrawn, I can simply hit done and save. And now that filter has been populated for me, and we currently have 0 withdrawn regulatory changes. If we wanted to edit any of that information, as we saw before, we can simply come back in and add any additional filters that we want to as a part of that process. I'm just going to delete that filter, and you can see here I can delete it. We also have the ability to add conditional logic. So as an example, I can add a new filter, add my fields, and let's just say this is going to be action type of informal review. I can continue to add on filters here and give it the operation. Let's just say applicability again. Any of the following values will say applicable. And I can even add advanced logic. So here I could add 1 and 2, or I could add some Boolean logic in. If you click into that, you'll see it gives you some examples, or maybe I just want to say 1 or 2. And then I can save. If I try and create a filter which already exists, as you'll see, it gives me a warning message, but I can then save that information and it will now create that new filter for me. That's a highlight of the overview of the filtering capability that exists within IBM OpenPages. Let's return to our home page and quickly talk about some of the reporting aspects. On our home page, you'll see we have a section here called Regional Compliance Summary View, and it shows North America and EMEA. What these views will do is aggregate or roll up reporting based upon compliance information that we've captured in the system. Our first portlet that we see here is related to regulatory changes by impact. We can see different filter values for not determined, medium, low. And if you wanted to remove any of these, so maybe I don't need to focus on not determined, I can simply click that out and it now reorients my graph for me. I can drill down on any of these numbers and they'll immediately bring me down to the listing of the regulatory changes that meet that criteria. Any of the other fields of information, again, we can access this data, whether it's obligation requirement scores, maybe we want to look at control information, or even issue status. So we can quickly access that data and look at that from a roll-up or aggregation. Lastly, there's a link on the top navigation bar called Analytics. This will bring you directly into Cognos Analytics, which allows you to do more advanced dashboarding and reporting capabilities. By clicking on Analytics, you'll see that we were presented with a intro page here, where we can then click on, for example, a regulatory compliance dashboard. This will allow us to see information related to the dashboard itself, such as counts of regulatory changes or percentage of controls, and even get a breakdown of maybe ownership. Each of these widgets can be interactive. So as we select one section, it will dynamically update other areas of the report as well to reflect the changes that we've created. The end user has the ability to create new dashboards, new explorations, or even do reports or storyboards as a part of this process as well. And they can even upload their own files, such as Excel files, if they want to report against any of the information that exists here as well. That provides a brief summary overview of the different reporting capabilities that exist within IBM OpenPages. Thank you.